Hi guys, welcome back to your Not So Ordinary Scrapbook channel. It's been a while. It's been a few weeks at least. I can't remember the last time I posted a scrapbooking video. I did post some video from last week when I was on my trip to Kentucky with my girlfriends. Just some short things some funny things that happened. So I didn't realize that my voice is so squeaky and loud. Like when I laugh, I don't know if it's just me. I don't think it's me. I think that I don't think it's me that thinks that is the only one who thinks that my laugh is very strange. I think that it just is very strange and I need to work on that, I guess. So these are the layouts that I've done so far, and I'm hoping that I can get it all in the camera because I don't understand. I don't know if I should lift it up more, but this tripod is just not exactly as tall as what I wanted. I don't know. Is that better? I don't know if that's better or not. Can you see it all? Trying to get it all in the frame. I don't know that I can. I thought this was going to be a better tripod situation. But bear with me while I try to work on this. So like right here, it's almost off my table. Goodness. I don't know how I'm going to be able to work like that, but okay. I'll just try to keep it as close to the front as I can unless I push it back. Let's see. If I push it back, there, that's better. Okay, so if I take a piece of washi tape to kind of outline where I want to stay in focus because I'm not very good at that. So I'll just use a piece of washi tape. So I think that this is like where it needs to stay in order to be in focus. Yeah, okay. I'll keep that in mind anyway. Okay, so this was day 2. This was day 1. And that's as far as I've gotten. I haven't gotten any further. This is the cover. I'm not sure I like that. I don't know if I'm covering up something. Am I covering something up? No. Maybe I had it. I think it's supposed to be there. There we go. So that's a cover. If you can see it all. And I'll fill in the date later. Okay, so today I'm working on day 3 and 4. So we've got our page there. Make sure that that's all in view from top to bottom. Hopefully. Okay. Which if that's the case, then I need to move this down a little bit. So I know. I have a guide. There. That's better. Okay. Alright, so the pictures for day 3 are of my grandchildren. This is Esmeralda. This is Corbin. And they are brother and sister. And I need to cut out day 3 out of my thing. So a lot has gone on since the last time I talked to you guys. Of course, that's everything goes on. Life goes on, right? So I'm just gonna cut this out. Kind of fussy cut it out. I don't know where my normal fussy cutting scissors are. I have several pairs of scissors, but I don't know exactly where they are right now. And I don't have time to look for them because my office is quite the disaster and I don't have time to clean it. I either clean it or I have time to scrapbook. That's where I'm at right now, at least until probably for most of the summer. Things will slow down in the fall a little bit because instead of doing so much, I will actually be doing less, which, if that makes sense. I mean, I'll still be working, but I will only be doing one thing. I'll only be doing my internship, and everything else is going to fall away, and then that will be it. So thank goodness for that. I'm looking forward to the fall. We have a wedding coming up in September. My middle son, their parents are getting married. Hopefully she can be in the wedding. My middle son had her with, if you've been following my channel for any length of time, you know that my middle son had her with a girl that he dated, and we kind of had to fight to get paternity rights and all that stuff established so we could have visitation rights and that he could have legal rights to his daughter and all that stuff. So, but he's afraid to talk to her about her being in the wedding, which, I mean, legally, I don't know. I don't know if there's a legality that says that she can be in. It's not his weekend, for one thing. So that makes it a little more difficult. And, you know, if mom is still holding a little bit of animosity toward Jordan, his soon-to-be wife, which there's no reason to, because they weren't dating until long after they were over with. It's a long story, but I think I might use this. And I think I might use pink, maybe. And I might use this pink. I think this is, not exactly sure. It's like it's from Faber-Castell. I don't know what it is. All we can do is try, right? I'm a little scared here. Let's try it. And when it's not gouache, gouache is a little bit different. But I think there is a name for this. I just can't remember what it's called. My memory escapes me. When I am overwhelmed, with a lot on my mind, I have a hard time thinking about what's not showing up as like what I was expecting it to, but I think if you add water, I think this is like a watercolor thing to like smooth it out. All we can do is try. So anyway, top news of the weekend is my daughter-in-law who is expecting. She is about 28 weeks pregnant. She went into early labor this past week, and they gave her a shot to stop it. She went home. She went back into labor. They gave her another shot to stop it. She went home again. Later that evening, she went into labor again. And they gave her another shot to stop it. And they said, this is the last one we can give you because that's the limit of whatever shot they gave her. They can't give her anymore. And they did all kinds of tests, and they didn't keep her overnight, which I found very odd. They didn't put her on bed rest, which I also found odd. I'm not exactly sure. She didn't go into a lot of detail, like if she had a bladder infection or a urinary tract infection. I went into early labor with Ethan because I had a bladder infection. I was about 35 weeks pregnant, so I was pretty far along by then. And I had a bladder infection, and I started throwing up and started getting contractions, and I went into the hospital, and they gave me one shot, and that stopped the contractions, and they treated me for a bladder infection, and then I didn't go into labor at all until I was induced. And then that turned into an emergency C-section because he was transverse and he was, his oxygen level kept dropping. But, so I don't know, little Aria, she's still in there, and she did not like the tests at all. She was kicking a lot and, you know, just very, very rambunctious, I guess, during that process, but scared the heck out of mom and dad, you know, because that's extremely early. She's viable, but she would have been in the NICU for sure. So that was scary. And do I have water in here? I usually keep like a water bottle for when I want to paint something. In here, I do have water. I do have water brushes, but yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to happen. I wanted everything to fall off the top of this cart onto the floor. So, but anyway, we are all praying for Aria to stay put for a while. So that kind of was kind of crazy. And I start my new job at the YMCA on Tuesday this week. So I'm trying to get prepared for that. I open up in the morning, so I'm the first one to greet the kids every day. So I have the key to the building, and I'll be the first one greeting parents and all that stuff, checking kids in and all that stuff. But we have 36 kids, and we have seven adults. But I am the oldest of all of them, all of us. Most everybody else, I'm guessing that everybody, all 6 other people working are under 25. I'm pretty sure. Some I don't even think are 20. I think some are just like fresh out of high school. So, and that's fine. You know, everybody, we work well together. I mean, we were collaborating on some projects and things like that during orientation. And then we had our final CPR class where we had to test and make sure that I took a test online for CPR, for the CPR course. You had to do that first, and I passed that. And then we had to do the actual test with the Resusci dummies, and we had to collaborate with a partner where one was giving oxygen, was giving the 2 breaths, and then the other one was giving the CPR on the child and then on the baby, and then using a mask, and then also emergency situation, like a scenario we had to do where we had to hook up an IED or AED and use that as well. So hopefully we don't have to do that this summer. I'm hoping everybody, we do have one child who has a peanut allergy, so we need to kind of watch out for that. But other than that, I think it'll be okay. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but I do not know what to do here. I am going to use this mist to try to smooth this out and see what happens, because I don't have any wash or water. So I'm just gonna wet this with that. It's just water in there anyway, I think. And then where are my paintbrushes? That's not a very big one. There they are, I think. Try to prepare for this, and I'm not very good at it. It's smoothing, but it's not smoothing good enough. What about one of these? If I use this, is that gonna do anything? Not really. I mean, it's blending a little. I do have a blending marker, but I don't even know if that would work. There we go. It's doing something now. So, but we have 2 field trips and all that stuff. So, and my exercise schedule is going to be different. I did my last cardiac rehab. I don't know if it'll be forever. Kind of sad to see everybody, you know, for the last time. That kind of makes me sad. Just because you get used to people, and you know, and you know, they're probably glad to see me leave though after 6 years. They're probably like, good riddance, woman. It is what it is. I kind of made the mistake of, you know how you start talking about something and it turns into something that you didn't intend to talk about? And then you're like, oh crap, I don't know if I should have said that. Well, I kind of did that on Friday. Right before I left, we got on the subject of kids, and I was talking about my new job and everything like that, and then we were talking about like parking and where the Y is located. It's located right next door to where I used to work at the child care center, and I kind of went into detail about the situation that I had with the assistant director there, and how she was kind of laying on a kid and in my class because he wouldn't go to sleep. And he was a difficult child. I mean, he did have behavior issues, but I would have never done that to a child. I didn't think it was appropriate to do that to a child, to make him go to sleep. But, I kind of like a couple of the nurses, well, one nurse for sure, she was like, oh, I would have reported that to DCFS, and you're a mandated reporter, you should have reported that, and all that stuff. But it's a very fine line. It's a very fine line to make, like, this business is a very reputable business in town. Going up against a business and with a risk of being blacklisted was not on my agenda working there. And I understand that I don't think this child was hurt. I don't know how hard of pressure she was putting on him when she was laying over him to hold him down. DCFS is very clear on like how you're supposed to restrain children. You're not supposed to use your hands. You're supposed to use your wrists and like your forearm, and it's very technical, and it's very, I don't know that she was doing that. I don't think she was using her hands. I think she was using her arms. So I don't know, like the nurse said, oh, that's abuse. And it's like, I don't know that it was abuse. I don't know that that was abuse. I don't think that it was appropriate, but I don't know that it was abuse. I personally, looking at it from my point of view, it looked like it was, she was causing additional trauma to this child and to the children around her, to the other children in my class, or in my room. But it's just a very fine line. And sometimes, and I try to shy away from talking about things like that to like outside people, because they weren't there. So they didn't see it in a way that like I saw it, like I observed it. And I don't know that I observed it correctly. I mean, I think I did. I would never put my children in that place, or my grandchildren, just because I would never want that done to them. But I don't know, that and going up against a business in town when I hadn't been there very long, and of course they're going to deny it. If I had called, they would have denied it, and even if they had looked at the footage, like, it is filmed, but I don't know that they would have like deleted that footage, or the main director was gone that week, so I don't know. There's just a lot of what ifs, and I made the decision. I don't know if it was the right decision or not. I don't know, but it did make me not want to work there anymore. I mean, I'm certain had I called DCFS on them, I probably would have gotten canned. And that's not something that I want on my record. I don't know. It's a fine line. As I have had to call DCFS on people before, on parents before. But it's been years since I've had to do that, and it's been actual abuse that has taken place. I mean, I was sure it was abuse. This was just a very difficult situation to I don't know. I don't know. But I shouldn't have talked about it. And sometimes I get to talking about things, and and I start talking about it, and I'm like, oh boy, why did I even mention this? Because people are not going to, they're going to advise me like what I should have done, and maybe I should have done that. I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of things about that place that I didn't like. I mean, the parking was horrible there. It was completely chaotic. It was impossible to park in an area that, like, it was just, when the parking is stressful in your employment or the place that you work, that is like one of the quickest ways to get me to quit a job. I'm just telling you. Because I don't like confusing parking. You tell me where I'm supposed to park. Like for the Y, we have a big parking lot. We can park wherever we want. That's how that is. But at this place, it was like you got to park between two different signs, and not between this sign, but between that sign. And if this part of the parking lot is full, this is the overflow. And it just like, I was like, what in the heck? And it's like, and parents have preference over these spots. So if you're parked there, you may be asked to move, and it's just like, no, you either have the parents park up front to pick up their kids, and we'll park in the back. How hard is that? But they had it all. I don't know. It was very, very strange. So, I don't know. That, and the place was not very clean because they couldn't keep a janitor. So we had to clean. And that was another thing that was very frustrating. And some of the employees were not very hygienic. I thought that was gross. There's this one woman that was very disgusting. Not the way she looked or anything. Well, she needed to shower better. That's all I have to say about that. But, I mean, there just was a lot. And, I mean, this kid is the same kid that was being laid on. Was the same kid that I hurt my back trying to get out from under the table. He just was, I don't know, it was just a very difficult situation that I shouldn't have been talking about with other people. And I have a feeling that people judge me, and I don't like being judged for a decision I made. I mean, be it right or wrong. I mean, it was just a decision I made, and, and I pray that if this is still consistently going on there, that someone reports it. That someone reports it, and that, the one thing that I noticed the most working there was that you're supposed to, when you work with children, you're not supposed to be biased in any way. Like, you're not supposed to play favorites. And And a lot of that was going on. The children with behavior issues were treated differently than the children that were the so-called favorites. And you know, you kind of have to check your bias at the door when you work with kids. You know, regardless of your feelings, you know, it's natural to have a favorite, and it's natural to be frustrated with kids that have behavior issues, but that doesn't mean that you're supposed to treat the other children any different than you would. You know, you're supposed to treat them the same. But I don't know what my purpose of doing that was, because unless I move this down. So I kind of regret mentioning that. And it was my last day there too, so I kind of like, not the best way to end. You know, I don't know. But, and yesterday we spent all day looking for a car for me, because I want to buy a different car. My car, I have a Navigator, and it's a gas hog. And it has this problem that it's common for Navigators. It's not like specific to my vehicle. It's just something that just happens with Navigators, is there's a part on them that gets clogged up, and for whatever reason it just gets clogged up, and then it makes you lose power when you're driving. And so about every year I have to take it in and have this part, or this whatever it is, I don't know anything about cars, so bear with me. But I have to have this part cleaned out. Like, the mechanic has to like clean whatever the gunk that builds up in it out. And it's expensive to have done. And like, my vehicle's running okay right now. But it's starting that whole process again, where it's like, you know, every great once in a while it will start to like lose power, and then I know that it's time to do that again. And I'm just kind of tired of it. I'm just tired of having to deal with that. I'm not going to trade in my vehicle, because it still has life left in it. I mean, I'm not going to like get rid of it. We can always use a third vehicle. But so I narrowed it down to 3, and then the mechanic, we talked to the mechanic today, like, because I'm having difficulty deciding which one that I want out of 3 that I narrowed it down to yesterday. And I'm paying cash for this vehicle, so I don't want to make a bad decision and then like regret it later, because the vehicle will be mine. So I'm just trying to be careful about how I spend my money. And so the one vehicle out of the 3, the mechanic said, yeah, don't get this vehicle, because a lot of people have problems with it. So that one is out. But
Esme's here.
she is.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Okay. I'm going to stop my video, and my granddaughter's here, so I want to spend time with her before she has to go home. I'll be back.